A delicacy of the Chesapeake has become the scourge of the Mediterranean. According to the University of Alicante Santa, the Chesapeake's native blue crab has invaded and swiftly taken over the ecosystem of the Ebro Delta on Spain's Mediterranean coast. These are photos scientists have found in the Spanish region. Researchers say the blue crabs could disrupt the food chain since they have no natural predator in the new ecosystem, and they can eat the native species in the region.
Oceans cover 2/3 of the Earth. It is the biggest natural habitat in the world, home to thousands of species. An invasive or non-native aquatic species can be any organism that exists somewhere in or near water where it doesn't belong. Invasive species that thrive in their new environment usually do so because their new habitat lacks natural predators to control their population. They do damage to the local ecosystem by consuming native species, competing with them for food or space, or introducing disease. Habitat loss, overexploitation, pollution, invasive alien species, and climate change are the top 5 pressures that are directly driving biodiversity loss. These threats still remain constant or even intensify despite the actions aimed to protect and sustain the environment. Invasive maritime species can alter ecosystems, food webs, and country economies. It was not until the 1970s that the community of scientists began to be aware of the problem. In the last century, the species introduced into the Mediterranean, the most affected sea in the world, has been doubling every 20 years, and we are today at about 500. One of the last species raising all the red flags was the voracious and gigantic blue crab. Native to the American Atlantic coast, it is identified by its bluish legs and its large size. It can also weigh up to a kilo. On Spain's Mediterranean coast, the invasive blue crabs were first spotted in the Ebro River Delta in 2012. Since then, its growth has been exponential. Wherever it goes, the blue crab quickly becomes a plague. It adapts easily to different salinities, has a great reproductive capacity, and is a great predator. It eats mollusks, crustaceans, fish, and plants. It is considered one of the 100 most harmful invasive species in the Mediterranean. The blue crab invasion has devastated the Ebro Delta. It is capable of eating up to 50 clams in a day.
Se reproducen más rápido de lo que nosotros lo podemos sacar. Cada hembra puede poner sobre 1 millón de huevos y cada año se triplican.
Thousands of kilos of blue crab reach the market every day. Although its consumption is far from making its fishing profitable. As if that were not enough, the crab destroys the fishermen's nets. It is not yet classified as an invasive alien species in Spain. It continues to spread its strength more and more throughout large areas of the Mediterranean. Its only predator is the octopus, which is increasingly rare in these waters. Blue crabs, as many other invasive species, probably found their way via the ballast tanks of ships. What does the global shipping industry have to do with the pandemics of invasive species? Maritime shipping represents 90% of world trade, providing a huge service to the global economy. Most marine invasive species stow away in ship ballast. Large boats have tanks that are filled with seawater to counterbalance cargo weights. Boats draw in the water at their loading ports, in some cases more than 75 million liters. When the ship arrives, at its destination after transoceanic travel, it releases the ballast. 50% of world traffic passes through the Mediterranean Sea thanks to the passage through the Suez Canal and the Strait of Gibraltar. The container ships that pass through these waterways are very large vessels, capable of storing enormous quantities of ballast water from anywhere in the world. The main hub ports of the Western Mediterranean are Algeciras, Valencia and Barcelona, all in the Mediterranean coast of Spain. The exchange of species, animals or bacteria has an enormous magnitude. Some 45,000 cargo ships move more than 10 billion tons of ballast water around the world each year. Nowadays, the blue crab is a plague for Spain, but ballast water is a tremendous global issue that needs both local and global solutions. In 2004, the International Maritime Organization promoted the Convention for the Control and Management of Ballast Water and Sediments from Ships, aimed to reduce pollution and to control the transfer of potential invasive species, and of which Spain is a contracting party. By the year 2024, all ships, including individual ones, must have installed a ballast water management system that meets or exceeds the regulated ballast water performance standard. This means all ship owners will have to exchange their ballast water while out at sea or treat it to kill stowaway species before they are released. Some NGOs and universities like the University of Alicante and the University of Balearic Islands have developed control strategies for invasive species in the Mediterranean. In 2018, the Catalan government presented a technical study which concluded that mass fishing and commercialization were the best measures to stop the expansion of blue crabs in the delta. In the same time, the Co-Management Committee of the Blue Crab for the Ebro lands was created. Several agents got involved, such as fishermen, representatives of the administration, members of the scientific community and entities for the protection of the environment. The committee works to address both fishing and marketing issues and the promoting of blue crabs.
Se ve que será muy difícil su erradicación, por lo que lo vamos a considerar como un nuevo recurso pesquero, una nueva especie que ha venido, que tiene su mercado y que actualmente está sirviendo para que nuestros pescadores que no pueden ir a las pesquerías anteriores se puedan ganar la vida correctamente con la pesquería de este cangrejo, que además estamos intentando sacarlo del entorno marino para que, ya como he dicho antes, que es difícil la erradicación, pero que llegue a un equilibrio que pueda ser sostenible dentro de todas las especies autóctonas que ya tenemos.
Luckily, the blue crab can be marketed and incorporated into the local diet, and its consumption has started to grow. In recent years, many restaurants in the Ebro Delta have added blue crab into their menu, since it is highly valued for gastronomy and it gives a very good flavor to rice, one of the star dishes of the Delta. Besides all of this, it has an affordable price. At the moment, it is too early to see the real implantation of this species in the area, but as consumption grows, it will tend towards balance and a controlled presence without disappearing.